There are moments in life when the world feels louder than your soul. When every step feels like you're walking further away from yourself. When no matter how much you achieve or how deeply you love, something inside still whispers, "This isn't it." You try to silence it. You try to outrun it. But that quiet voice never truly leaves. Because it's not a flaw. It's a calling. It's your soul asking you to remember who you truly are. In this video, we won't give you answers. We'll hold up a mirror to your mind, your wounds, your longing, and your light. So that maybe, for the first time, you stop searching and start returning. The great illusion, reality is a reflection of the mind. When you wake up inside a dream, what if I told you that everything you see around you, your job, the people you meet, the turns you call fate, doesn't actually come from the outside? That instead, they are vivid reflections of your own mind, like a mirror showing you what you've never dared to face. The world you live in might just be the deepest dream you've ever created. We call it reality, but perhaps it's only a grand illusion, woven from collective beliefs, inherited wounds, and unconscious longing. Have you ever asked, am I truly awake, or merely drifting through society's dream? The keepers of secrets erased from history. From ancient Egypt to medieval European mystics, those who understood the true nature of reality, that the mind is the creator, were silenced, erased, or labeled heretics. Why? Because if you know that everything in life begins in your consciousness, you can no longer be controlled. You become a creator, not a puppet. In sacred tombs of Egypt, the texts of Hermetica, the rituals of the Rosicrucians and the Knights Templar, a single truth echoes, the universe is spirit. And the mind is the divine spark of creation within you. The mind is the creator, not just the observer. Modern quantum physics affirms this, reality isn't fixed. A particle of light only takes shape when it is observed. You're not merely witnessing life, you're influencing it directly through your perception, beliefs, and emotions. When you're afraid, your world contracts. When you're grateful, the universe opens. When you're still, reality becomes transparent, as if it's listening to the voice of your soul. Thinkers like Plato, Carl Jung, and Ernest Holmes all echoed the same truth in different languages. The mind is the origin of all things. As within, so without. When you meet someone who moves you deeply, it's not just about them. It's your unconscious being awakened. When you face financial hardship, it's not just a money problem, but a signal from within, a vibration of lack, fear of loss, or unworthiness. The world doesn't do it to you. The world reflects you back to yourself. The ancient phrase "as within, so without" isn't poetic metaphor, it's a universal law. Frequencies, vibrations, and invisible waves. Imagine your mind as a radio. Every thought, every feeling is a frequency. When you emit anger, you tune into situations that provoke anger. When you emit love, even in silence, the world softens around you. Vibration isn't mysticism. It's the language of the universe. And you are a living transmitter, constantly sending signals about how you perceive the world, and the world responds like a mirror that never lies. Real miracles don't come from outside. We often pray for something to arrive, love, money, health. But these things never come from the outside. They're called in through inner vibration. That's why two people with the same opportunity can have vastly different outcomes. Not luck, vibration. Remember, the universe doesn't respond to words. It listens to energy. When you emit the belief that you are already whole, you begin living in a world of wholeness. When you radiate gratitude, the universe finds ways to give you more reasons to feel grateful. Who are you in this play? You can live your whole life as a victim, waiting to be saved. Or you can wake up and become the author of the story. The key isn't to change others or the world around you, it's to shift your inner state. Everything you've ever called fate, coincidence, or tragedy, they are lessons, mirrors, whispers from the universe, all guiding you back inward to remember. Everything begins with the mind. When destiny doesn't come to stay, but to awaken, you will open another level, where the people you meet aren't just connections, but soul mirrors unlocking doors you once locked away. Are you ready to go deeper? With a balance, truth doesn't need to be proven. It only needs to be remembered. When destiny doesn't come to stay, but to awaken you. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. Have you ever met someone whose mere presence slowed down time? As if space itself paused to let you feel something ancient and sacred? It wasn't what they said. It wasn't that you knew them. It was because their presence stirred something ancient within you. A memory without origin. A longing without words. Carl Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, meaningful coincidence. When the outer world and your inner world align in symbolic harmony. It's not random. It's the universe whispering to you. A signal that you're entering a significant phase of your soul's journey. The ones who don't stay, but never leave. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. But some people, even if they pass through like a breeze, can stir everything inside you. They could be a lover, an old friend, or a stranger at an airport. But the moment you meet them, you just know, not in your mind, but in your soul, I've known this person before. From long, long ago. They arrive as a mirror, to reflect back what you've forgotten. They don't complete you. They activate you. They're not here to build a life with you. They're here to open a door you've locked for years. When your soul knows before your mind does. They appear in dreams before they arrive in real life. Their name echoes mysteriously in your everyday life. Symbols, numbers, and signs seem to conspire, as if reality itself is orchestrating a meeting. This isn't superstition. It's the language of the soul. The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in energy, symbols, and feelings you can't name, but can't ignore. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. These people don't come by chance. They come to stir awake dimensions of you that have long slept. Is it love, or is it remembering? What if I told you, we don't fall in love with other people? We fall in love with the version of ourselves awakened in their presence. They make you feel alive, raw, unguarded. They reconnect you to dreams you buried. But in their silence or distance, they also touch the deepest wound in you, the fear of abandonment, of unworthiness, of being truly seen. That's not pain, that's revelation. They didn't hurt you, they uncovered what was already aching within you. The storm is not the end. It's the beginning. After such encounters, you are no longer the same. You might try to forget them. But what you truly cannot forget is who you were in their presence. You were softer, braver, realer. That's how you know your soul brushed against the sacred. Sometimes, their departure leaves a void, but in that space, you begin to meet yourself again. Not the performance. The awakening. The lesson doesn't come through the one who stays, but the one who leaves. These soul meetings don't follow timelines. They don't need to last long to be meaningful. One glance, one quiet afternoon, one unfinished sentence, is enough to awaken an entire world sleeping inside you. They didn't come to give you love. They came to bring you back to the love that lives inside you. Not love that needs to be returned, but love that simply is, always has been. They weren't your destination. They were the knock on the door. Whether you open it is up to you. Do you dare look into the mirror of the soul? Can you face your pain? Your repressed memories? The shadow you've hidden from the world? Because that person who stirs you deeply, they're not just someone. They are a mirror for the part of you you've never dared to meet. When you thank them, even if they never stay, you begin to resurrect your own wholeness. You stop blaming. Stop chasing. Stop hiding. You return. You heal. Rebirthing reality, when the soul becomes the creator, will be the final chapter, where you no longer seek love from others, but become the frequency that calls forth an entirely new world. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath. Because what's coming next won't just shift your beliefs, it might shift your entire life. But a balance, not everyone is meant to stay, but some are meant to change you forever. Rebirthing reality, when the soul becomes the creator. When you stop searching and start becoming, there comes a moment when you realize no one is coming to save you. No one can truly transform your life except you. Love is no longer something you chase, it's something you radiate. Peace is no longer a destination, it's a current flowing within. This is when you awaken, not to ask the world for anything, but to become the frequency the world responds to. Not through prayer, but through presence. Not by wishing, but by aligning deeply with yourself. You are the source, not the seeker. From a young age, we're taught that everything comes from outside us: love from others, worth from achievements, safety from control. But the truth is, you are the source from which everything flows. When you sit still, without resistance, without grasping, you touch the deepest part of your being. There, you don't need to convince anyone to love you. You don't need to chase an idea of success. You simply show up as your true self, and the universe begins to reorganize itself around you, because you've stepped into your authentic frequency. The power of quiet action. A powerful vibration doesn't have to be loud. An awakened soul doesn't need to shout. All you have to do is live as if what you want has already happened. When you speak your truth in a whisper and it still makes people stop, that's real power. You don't need to strive to be seen. You just need to see yourself first. You don't need others to choose you. You just need to choose yourself, clearly and fully. That's when the magic begins. You create reality by loving yourself enough. When you love yourself enough not to need external validation, you step out of the frequency of fear. And when you no longer resonate with fear, the universe no longer sends you lessons wrapped in pain. You begin to live as a conscious co-creator, not someone passively accepting fate, but someone choosing vibration, choosing perspective, choosing response. And from there, a new reality is born. Love is no longer attachment, but the dance of two awakened souls. You no longer seek someone to complete you. You no longer need someone to validate your worth. When you are whole within, you begin to attract souls that resonate with your frequency. Not needy love, but expressive love. Not attachment, but the freedom to walk side by side. This is love where no one owns the other, yet no one walks away. No need for chains, yet ever present in one another. This kind of love only arrives when you've become the very person you once searched for. The universe doesn't respond with miracles, it responds with you. We often ask, when will I meet the right person? When will my life finally change? But the universe doesn't answer those questions with someone else. It answers with you. When you become someone who can be trusted by your own heart. When you love unconditionally without abandoning yourself. When you dare to live truthfully without needing permission. That's when life is no longer a painting someone else creates. It becomes the masterpiece you are shaping stroke by stroke. Final words, when you no longer look for miracles, because you realize you are one. If you're reading these words, chances are you've known pain. You've felt lost. You've searched the world for something to make you whole. But let me say this, with all the clarity I can. You were never lacking. You were never forgotten. You have always been the fire, not the seeker of it. You are not a rough draft waiting to be fixed. You are the light shaking off the dust that once dimmed your soul. And when you remember that, you won't need anyone to bring you home. Because you are already home. But a balance, when you no longer seek love, but become love, everything meant for you will find its way with grace.